Hello everyone and welcome to another video of the Sky channel. Now this video is going to be another one of the whale series and it's going to be about Robot. You can see the massive amount of kills that he has, an indication of how strong and active he is. But despite being so powerful, he's actually a really nice person, extremely humble. We were together in the previous barren land and it was a very stressful barren land. That being said, he was always calm, always composed, never let the stress of the island change his demeanor, which is an amazing quality to have. He also sent me a really nice message saying that he admires my leadership because I was the camp leader, and that's such a nice thing to say given that he himself is such a phenomenal leader. So without further ado, let's start talking about Robot. Alright, and let's start with his skins, and you can see that he has the horned or winged red star, which is really cool. You can also see that it takes 512,000 experience to get to that even bigger red star, and he's actually almost halfway through in getting that big red star. You can also see some of the bonuses that he's getting due to having the horned red star and what he's going to get once he gets the even bigger red star. So you can scroll over his skins and see that he has a bunch of them unlocked. The only 3 orange skins that he hasn't unlocked are actually the ones that are temporary rewards for either winning the Lost Island, Barren Land, or Vast Jungle. And then if we go to his March troops, you can see that again, pretty much all of the orange skins are unlocked. And of course, you can see that he's almost at 4 golden stars, which would grant him some additional bonuses. Alright, next up, let's go to his insects. And you can see a level 100 dead leaf mantis staring out at us as his first insect, which is pretty cool. In addition to that, you can see a level 80 rainbow scarab and a level 89, one of those new guardian insects that was released as well. In terms of the helpers, you can see there's 2 gladiator mantises that are being used for the 2 main highest level insects that he has. Alright, let's go to his level 100 deadleaf mantis. You can check out how he's assigned his talents and also the stars, and the talent ascent is at level 34. Giving an overall 34% additional damage. To get it to 35, you actually need to get 2 orange insects to level 30 before you can actually get this to level 35. Meaning that you cannot indefinitely just focus on one insect and keep on ascending it all the way through. You do need to focus on 2 different insects because at some point they're going to start restricting leveling unless you actually level another one to a certain level as well. Next up, let's see reverting the level. And this gives you an idea of how many resources you need to get from level 0 to level 100. And that's 17.5 million fodder, about 9.35 million exotic fodder, 416,000 100 ascent shells, and you're also getting back 25,580 insect shells, and I believe that translates to 2,558 1-star insects. So that's the extremely steep cost of getting one insect from level 0 to level 100 by itself. Of course, before you can do that, you do need to have 2 other insects that are at least level 80, so that's an additional cost to keep in mind as well. Next, let's check out his level 89 guardian insect, and this is how he's assigned the talents for this insect and the stars as well. And the talent ascent is at level 25, which is probably because it was necessary to get this to level 25 in order to ascend the main insect beyond level 29. Finally, this is the rainbow scarab, and you can see how he's assigned the talents. Remember, this one is level 80. The ascent is, of course, level 0, as this has not been prioritized, and you didn't really need to prioritize 3 of them to get the main one to a higher level. So that covers his insects. Let's go to his buddies for the insects, and you can see he does have the tortoise beetle at 1 golden star. It's given around 9% increase in attack, defense, and health based on, of course, the primary insect that you're using it with. And you can see that if you level it up 1 more level, it would increase it by 10%. And over here, it actually shows you based on which insect that it's being used with. These are the stat bonuses you get. And at max star of this tortoise beetle, you can actually make it go up to 50%. Right now, let's go take a look at his genetics. Start with the cells, as you can see, level 30 to level 34, and all of them have a level 45 evolution. A level 45 evolution basically means that you get an overall attribute boost of 35%. And here you can see the sort of stat bonuses you get with a level 34 7-star cell. So about a 55% health, 137.6% attack and defense. You can also take a look at the cost of upgrading the cell evolution from level 45 to level 46, giving you an additional 1% boost in the overall attributes, but costing about 950 minor cell nuclear and 95 big cell nuclear. And of course, before you can do that, all of the other cells need to be at least level 45, which he does have. So he's in good shape to upgrade this as soon as he has enough big cell nuclear. The cell ascent is actually at level 8, which to be honest is crazy high. I don't think I've seen anyone else with a cell ascent that high. And if you take a look, he's getting about 13% soldier ant damage, the same 50 combat speed, but there's a 7% skill resistance as well, a 4% normal attack damage resistance, and a 4% health. Quite cool if you think about it. To get to level 9 ascent, it still costs only 100 bioessence. Let's move over to his genes. You can see level 33 to level 34 evolution, and the genes themselves are between level 24 to level 26, and it remains fairly consistent throughout the different pages. You can see the gene ascent is at level 2, getting him the 50 combat speed, basically meaning that all the extra bioessence, he did decide to spend that in the cell ascent. Next, let's go to his germs. You can see that the levels are fairly consistent. All of them seem to be at level 24 in the first page, and the evolution is between level 31 to level 34. The level 34 one is the one that's giving shooter ant attack and guardian ant health, which makes a lot of sense given that he does use guardian shooter. The other pages are fairly consistent as well, and in the ascent you can see again level 2 getting him the 50 combat speed, and then after that it seems that most of his bioessence went into the cell ascent. Finally, let's go to the fungi. You can see, of course, the fungi are maxed out, but you can also see that he has a level 50 evolution on the fungi. And at the top, you can see how he's prioritized upgrading the fungi. So, of course, the skill attack and skill defense is the highest level, along with the shooter ant attack and guardian ant health, which, of course, as I mentioned before, makes a lot of sense. After that, the shooter ant health one and guardian ant defense one is being prioritized, and the one that's least prioritized is the one that gives shooter ant defense and guardian ant attack. And the next page is fairly similar. It's at level 49 evolution, probably going to be level 50 soon. You can see the highest priority there is for the skill attack and skill defense, as honestly that makes a lot of sense because there aren't too many ways to get skill attack and skill defense. Fungi is one of the rare places where you can get a lot of it, so it does make a lot of sense to prioritize that the most. The others are prioritized fairly evenly, of course, with the shooter ant health one being a little higher than the other two. The third page, similar story there, level 49 evolution, skill attack, skill defense, top priority, and then the shooter ant attack and guardian ant health one is the next priority, and the other two are fairly similar. And finally on the last page again, you can see same stuff, skill attack, skill defense prioritized, the others are the same. The fungi ascent is at level 3, basically meaning that in addition to the 7% damage and 50 combat speed, he's also getting a 4% skill resistance, which can be fairly useful as well. And here you can see that to upgrade from level 50 evolution to level 51 evolution, all the other fungi need to be at least at level 50 to make that happen. And at a level 50 evolution, you're getting about a 25% overall attributes boost to the fungi within that colony. Alright, and we still have a lot to cover, but before that I wanted to take a little bit of time to inform everyone of the amazing bonuses that you can get if you use our promo code with Aptoide, giving you between 10 to 35% bonus on in-game purchases. And it's a fairly straightforward process, and I have a video that goes through the whole process with you. It is something that I do recommend, and I've actually had some of my Whales in the Sky Alliance use it as well, and they have been ever so grateful because they ended up saving a lot of money and started getting things much cheaper than the rest of the crowd. So if you're interested, do check it out. Keep in mind that we have a new promo code SKY8, so if you are one of our lovely Aptoide users using my Sky7 promo code, feel free to update it to SKY8 and continue getting those amazing bonuses. And then on October 20th, all you need to do is go back to the AppCoins wallet and add the same promo code back again. So it's going to remain Sky 8 until the time I have a partnership with Aptoide. I'm not expecting the promo code to change. Check out the video if you're interested. Otherwise, join our Discord if you have a few questions before you want to actually switch to using Aptoide and our promo code. Alright, now let's take a look at his mutations, and you can see that a lot of them are purple and at level 49. So other than the defending attack and defense, which is at level 35, the combat speed one, which is at level 23, and the counter ones that he hasn't prioritized at all the others are at level 49, which is really cool. And I can totally understand why the combat speed one is level 23. It's just because it is extremely hard to unlock, right? You need at least 5 level 39 mutations before you actually get this unlocked. So it's probably going to be a little lower level than the others because the others have been around a little longer. And you can see here to level up from level 49 to level 50, it costs about 4,500 spores, 3 orange shells, and 16 supreme spores. You also need to have at least 4 level 49 mutations, which he already has because, well, he has 7. So if he decides to upgrade it, it will be an orange mutation, which obviously looks really cool. Okay, now is a good time to go into the reforms, and you can see 56 stars in the Guardian reform, 60 stars in the Shooter reform, and 55 stars in the Carrier reform. You can also see that each of those basic reforms are at level 60, so they are maxed out for Guardian, Shooter, and Carrier, getting him an amazing 270% attack, 270% defense, and 108% health for each of the 3 classes. When it comes to the rare reforms, he's using health and skill defense for Guardians, which makes a lot of sense. Both of them are level 3, giving him an 18% health and 15% skill defense. For shooters, he's using attack and skill attack, which also makes a lot of sense. The attack one is level 3, giving him a 45% attack bonus, and the skill attack is level 2, giving a 10% skill attack bonus. And for carriers, he's using the defense rare reform and the one that gives some of each attack, defense, and health, getting him a total of 10% attack, 40% defense, and 4% health. And then of course he is getting the reform boosts, which basically you get once you max out all of the basic reforms to level 60, you can get a little bit of an extra boost by using the reform boosts. So his carrier reform boosts are between level 25 to level 30. The level 25 one giving him a 15% boost in defense, the level 29 one giving him a 7.6% health bonus, and the level 30 one giving him a 20% bonus attack. Similarly, in the shooters, we're looking between level 27 to level 30, giving him approximately 8% extra health and 20% extra attack and a 17% extra defense. And Guardians, similar story between level 26 to level 30 and getting approximately similar stat bonuses. Next, let's go to his evolution Meteorite. Starting with the Pioneer, and you can see a lot of winged ants, which looks really cool, and of course the red evolution, meaning that they are completely maxed out. The only 2 that have yet to be ascended to red evolution are the ones that give defense and the one that helps carrier ants, because carrier is not his main class. But of course, as soon as he does that, he will be having a red Pioneer evolution completely maxed out, and also of course the evolution damage will increase to 200%. You can also see his Pioneer Ascent is at level 5, giving him the 50 combat speed, which of course you get at level 3, a skill attack of 2.5% and a skill defense of 2.5% as well. In addition to that, he's also getting a 2% health. Here you can see the total evolution attributes that he's getting from the Pioneer Ascent: 2.5% skill attack, 86% health, 50 combat speed, and about 210% attack and 202% defense. And if you go to one of those ones that are already maxed out, you can see the exact stats that you're getting from this. There's no option to upgrade it further, of course, as of this moment. And the level 30 gold armor is giving a 40% boost in all soldier ants' health. Now to ascend it from the orange level 30 to red level 30 costs about 2,000 exotic leaf and 400 meteorite crystals. And you can see you're getting an 8% increase in your defense once you do that. Next up, the Explorer evolution. You can see all of them are at level 25. He's in the process of ascending them to orange, and he did that for the shooter one because that is his main class, so that is the priority. My assumption is the next would be the Guardian one, and then he's going to prioritize the others. The Explorer Ascent is at level 3, giving him the important 50 combat speed, which helps a lot in battles. Finally, the Trailblazer evolution, something that came out fairly recently. He already has it at blue evolution, which is quite cool. And the levels are between level 17 and level 18. He also managed to get it to level 1 ascent, giving him a 15 combat speed. Of course, he'd want to prioritize getting this to level 3 as soon as possible so he can get that 50 combat speed and hopefully have higher speed than most of his enemies. Alright, now let's take a look at the Awakening Gallery. And just by taking a quick look, you can see that a lot of the Awakenings are pretty high level. Just the first one that you see, the Thorny Head, which is the Black Knight, is already level 40. You can also see Arta is at level 40 as well. Lathy Sniffer also at level 40, and a bunch of others are at level 20 and level 30, which is pretty cool because that means he had a lot of these awakening proteins and materials needed to get so many of these awakenings to such a high level. And as you scroll down, you can see even more. There's Proata, there's Benchy Panda, and the only one that's not unlocked is actually Dark Hercules. The Awakening Gallery is at level 21, giving him about a 70% boost in attack and defense and a 28% boost in health. Next up, the treasures, and you can see the cave treasures are completely maxed out at level 20, and the island treasures are also almost maxed out. So you can see a lot of them are level 20. The main orange one is at level 19. Hopefully it's going to be 20 soon. And the one that gives all soldier and defense is at level 18. And you can see that the level 20 orange treasure gives a 50% boost in health and a 10% boost in special and skill defense. Next up, let's take a look at his evolutions, and you can see a lot of the evolutions are already maxed out. In the first page, there's only secondary combat that's at 98%, and everything else is maxed out. And surprise, surprise, excellent enhance is at 99%. So very shortly, he would have maxed out every possible evolution, and then his evolution days are going to be fairly boring because he would have nothing to evolve. My assumption is that as soon as this happens, the developers are probably going to add another evolution, giving him something to evolve and not just be sitting around and doing nothing on evolution days. Next, let's take a look at his classes, and as you can imagine, Raider class is his priority at level 164, Cultivator is at level 58, and Herder is at level 26, but he doesn't really need to be a herder at any point in time. Let's see the Raider buffs that he has active. The first one gives skill attack of 10% to shooter ants. The second one gives the same skill attack to shooter ants of 5%. Third one giving a 10% skill defense to shooter ants. Fourth one giving a skill defense of 10% to guardian ants. Fifth one giving a 5% skill attack to guardian ants. And the sixth one giving a skill attack of 10% to guardian ants as well. So you can see how it's all about guardians and shooters and primarily focusing on skill attack and skill defense. Next, let's take a look at his insect skin gallery. You can see he has the Peachy, he has the Meerkat, and he has the Spider, as well as the 2 purple crystals that you get for free. Each of them giving a unique bonus, like the Meerkat's giving 10% normal attack critical damage and 5% health. The Peachy giving a normal attack resistance of 10% and attack of 10% as well. The Spider giving a 6% damage reduction and 10% defense. And the free crystals giving a 2.5% attack. Now going to the ornaments, he has them at 3 purple stars, getting him a decent amount of bonuses like 15% defense, 10% garrison health, 10% garrison attack, 10% garrison defense, which of course can be fairly useful as well. Going to the underground cave, you can see that his fungus challenge is at 98 out of 130, cell is at 97 out of 120, evolution challenge 99 out of 100 because he's almost done pretty much every evolution, so not surprised there. Special ant challenge about 140 out of 160, genes 96 out of 120, Gems 94, Insect at 107 out of 120. Now they did release the Insect Buddy Challenge at this time, it's just that their video was sent to me before Sunday, so he didn't get a chance to compete in the Insect Buddy Challenge yet, but that will give him a little bit of a boost in the level as well. We're looking at 731 as his overall progress, which is pretty cool. Next, let's take a look at his ants, and you can see that he has in his troops a mix of guardians, shooters, and carriers. And we'll take a look at his units soon, but you can see that of course each of them seem to be the ones that are meta on each of the classes. So I can see Black Knight, I can see Emerald Jewel Ant, and I can also see Saharan Silver Ant, which is one of the metas as well. Then in Troop 1, I can see these are the Guardian meta as well, but we'll take a look at it very shortly. As you scroll down, you can see all of those cool looking ants because his evolution Meteorite is so high level. And let's just jump towards his units. So pro unit, as we talked about, a level 100 Deadleaf Mantis with the current meta of Black Knight, Emerald Jewel Ant, and Saharan Silver Ant. He's using the newest evolution Meteorite as his primary, and the other two are secondaries. Then in Troop 1, you can see the Guardian meta as I talked about. So it's using the 2 Jungle Guardian Ants and then Hairy Panther in the back line. Then after that one, you have a Carrier unit, which seems to be primarily used for Pangolin because he seems to have all the heavy hitters over there, like Golden Crystal, LB, and CR. The 4th unit seems to be a Guardian Shooter as well. He's using Arta with Formega Clara and Lati Sniffer. These 3 seem to work well together as well, so I can see how that would be fairly effective in battle as well. Next up, I'm sure everyone's excited to see his stats, and that's exactly what we're going to check out next, starting with the Duel of Queens, and then we'll take it to the mines as well. Let's go to his battle log and take a look. He barely ever loses. The only loss I see is the one that's against the DMC R5, but I can see that he lost one and he won one, basically signaling that they're fairly similar and it's probably a 50-50 chance to win. And if you go into this, you can see he's using the level 89 Insect here with Black Knight, Emerald Jewel Ant, and Saharan Silver Ant. Meanwhile, DMC R5 is using a level 96 Gladiator Mantis with Arta, Emerald Jewel Ant, and Saharan Silver Ant. Of course, we want to take a look at the stats, so let's go there next. And you can see the crazy stats on both sides. So Robot's Guardian is looking at about 3000% attack and defense and 1300% health and 990 combat speed. The skill attack and skill defense is around 237% skill attack, 260% skill defense. Going to the shooters, it's even crazier. We're looking at about 3250% attack, 2900% defense, 250% skill attack, 225% skill defense, and about 1180% health. Combat speed 950. You can see that DMC R5 stats are fairly similar, though it does seem that Robot has a little bit of an edge when it comes to stats. He does have a little higher stats than the DMC R5. But when stats are so close, it really goes down to who has more skill activations, and that's all based on luck. And that's why in the other report, it's Robot who won against the DMC R5, while in the first one that we just saw earlier, it was the other way around. Again, skill activations and a bunch of luck. Now let's go to the mine and take a look at his mine stats. This time he has the level 100 Deadleaf Mantis, so stats might be a little different, but of course it's not a Duel of Queens, so that also has an impact on the stats. So let's take a look at what the stats look like. And as you can see, there is a change there, about 2920% attack, 2930% defense, 1318% health, 990 combat speed when we're talking about the Guardians. Skill attack 242% and skill defense 254%. Then if you go to the shooters, he's about 3218% attack, 2839% defense, 252% skill attack, 221% skill defense, and almost 1200% health. Combat speed is still 950, which was the same when he was using the other insect. So crazy high stats, regardless if it's the Duel of Queens or if it is the mines. one of the strongest players out there. And of course, you're probably wondering approximately how much he spent to get his account to where it is today. And I believe that number is close to about $500,000 to $550,000 spent on his account to get it to the point where it is today. Which shouldn't surprise you, as Robot's account is pretty well built and he has been buying pretty much everything that gets available as soon as it gets available. So quite an impressive account. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like it. Please subscribe to our channel. Do check out some of our other whale series if this was interesting to you as well, so you can see a bunch of other cool builds out there and perhaps learn something from each of them as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.